What if I told you that when your child's sitting there continuing to play with their toys and you've spoken to them and you're waiting for a response, you're waiting for them to reply and say yes or no or hi mum, and you are getting frustrated because they're not responding. So you ask again and still they sit there and seemingly do nothing. What if I told you they had actually replied to you? What if I said to you they hadn't ignored you at all? You just had no awareness or conscious knowing of their reply. That's what's happening sometimes. That's what has happened many times for me when my children were young. They were responding to me telepathically in an invisible world that I had no knowledge of, no way of understanding, and I certainly couldn't hear it. So I would demand of them that they relate to me in the physical world, because that's the world we live in. That's what I knew. That's what I believed to be the way that we would interact. What I've now discovered over the last 30 plus years is that I have had a journey of waking up, of regaining the knowledge that I had lost as a child, because like most of us, we were raised that the physical world is the place that we interact, and it is our physical voice, our physical ears, and our body language, eye contact, all of those things that we rely on to know that we've been acknowledged. What I now know is that there is, well, we'll simplify it and say two lots of communication. There's the physical world, which we're very familiar with. We are absolutely training our kids to be able to master that and interact in that proficiently and with politeness, hopefully. And there is the non-physical world, the world in which things like telepathy and empaths and psychics would be familiar with. But for most of us, that's a foreign world. It's special people that have that as an experience, not everyday people. What I'm putting to you is that it actually is an experience of humanity. Being human means that you have that ability. You have that as an experience. And as a child, most children have an awareness of it. That baby that looks around you and smiles and giggles at something, and you think, what are they seeing that I can't see? There's your clue. They can see things that we can't see any longer. And and times that when your child is sitting there and not answering you, chances are they've telepathically answered you, and you just can't hear it, because we're relying on our physical ears to hear a response, to have them interact in the way that we know that things have to happen. So this causes confusion, and with a little bit of time, our child conforms and they start to interact in the physical world. But some children have more difficulty doing that transition. Some people, and still grow, and they're being adults and still have difficulty. And so in the later years, the words of things like empaths have become quite common, and people can relate to the meaning of the word to match their experience of life. It doesn't necessarily give them the skills and tools to be able to manage it, or to understand the connection, to get the discernment of when a communication from someone else comes your way. Instead, when we're younger, to be human means that you own everything that you experience. Your feelings, your thoughts, and the emotions that you experience are all yours. And that then becomes ownership of everything you experience. So early in life, we teach our kids that the experiences they have of an emotion or a feeling or a thought is theirs. They have to own it because they're feeling it. But actually that's not necessarily a truth. And so we set up confusion, distrust, doubting themselves. They have an experience they can't explain, but they're taught, own it, it's yours, you can feel it. So if they're in an environment where there is a lot of sadness or a lot of anger, and they're feeling it as a constant experience of connecting to the people around them, they own that as their own experience, and it becomes part of who they create themselves to be. Can you see where that would be dangerous and sad on many occasions? So if you start to implement that concept that what you're feeling from other people, you own and interpret and make decisions for yourself from, and that then creates who you are, which of course we then put into our automatic programming, it becomes our subconscious things, and everything just produces in our life from there. So this is an important element that has not necessarily been recognized about our human experience, and I am excited to be able to take that to you. If this is of interest to you and you would like to know more, please follow my page, comment below, tell me something about yourself, tell me some stories about the things between you and your children and what's happened that you might sort of go, oh, maybe this applies. Inbox me if you want to keep it private, and we can discuss things further. But for now, may today be better than your yesterday, and use today to make a better tomorrow.